That's cool. First things first. We're not gonna play a game. We're gonna look at this bad boy. You know why? Because we got a digital foundry. Oh shoot! I still have some tabs. What was this? All right, good to go. It's so crazy that the title of the video is the worst triple AC port of 2023 so far. Like, damn, dude, it's that bad.
Oh, I've got wine coolers.
Over here, baby. Oh, I want the Zima. Make sure everybody has Zimas.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor is here on PC, and it is in a state that is hard to believe. It is doubly hard to believe as its predecessor, Jedi Fallen Order, launched with the exact same issues in 2019. Shader compilation stutter, traversal stutter that still plagues modern PCs, and really poor options which do nothing to solve the game's core issues. I was stunned to learn that its sequel, Jedi Survivor, is in an even worse state than that game, perhaps taking the cake as the worst AAA release of 2023 so far. What do I mean by that? Well, let's start in the menu as always. The menu in Jedi Survivor on PC is not good and fails completely to improve over that of its predecessor. For one, the options are bare bones UE4 standards, even in their naming essentially. There's also zero context given to the user as to what the visual or performance ramifications are for the various settings that can be changed. This is a huge issue for the average user to optimize their experience to their particular PC. Furthermore, changing settings at times can
Yeah, I don't get why they don't put the bars. There's like other games that don't put the VRAM bars, so you know like how much VRAM you're using. There's none of that in that game.
negatively affect performance. Check out this here where I'm toggling ray tracing. First, it's a flat 60 FPS VSynced with ray tracing on. I turn it off and well, it's a flat VSynced 60 FPS there too. I turn ray tracing back on, well, it's a wobbly sub 60 FPS all of a sudden. I have to restart the game now for the performance to be back to normal again. This really shouldn't be the case in a game. There are other issues with the options as well. You only have access to TAA and FSR2, and both aren't that great, but FSR2 in this game is, in my opinion, not very good for acceptable image quality. Essentially, whenever an object moves or the camera moves in this game, FSR2 at all quality levels causes a blurred pixelization like you can see on the character model here.
Yep.
This applies to the entire image and all aspects of it while playing the game and moving the camera, giving the game a motion blurred ghosty look to objects, even if motion blur is set to off. On top of this, FSR2 has typical issues of ghosting with particles, like you can see here with this trash being spewed out of a pipe, and a number of other elements on screen are not reconstructed properly, like this lightsaber here, which has an ordered grid, low pixelization look to it. I'm confounded here why FSR2 is the only option in a UE4 game. UE4 has incredible plugins for DLSS and XeSS, and in 2023, I expect better.
This is Unreal Engine 4? Bro, we're at 5.2 or something. The heck?
The last main gripe with the options is that they have poor PC input device control. Watch this. Here I just want to try and quit the game by using the mouse. Haha, you can navigate the menu with the mouse, but a number of elements do not work when clicking. Here I'm trying to click the quit button, but it does nothing. You actually have to hold down Enter on the keyboard to select some buttons. This is bad user experience. Good mouse and keyboard controls in a menu means you can use either or both in combination to do all the actions that a menu provides. The current way it is implemented makes no sense, and it is a capital sign that we're looking at a lousy PC port. Unfortunately, this is Jedi Survivor's smallest issue in comparison to the other areas it fails to improve over its predecessor. Jedi Survivor fails to remedy the issue of shader compilation stutter and traversal stutter that Jedi Fallen Order had. It is arguably even worse in Jedi Survivor. For one, you have shader compilation stutter that just shouldn't be there. Nominally, Jedi Survivor precompiles shaders according to a UI element in the game that shows up the first time you load up the game, but also bizarrely shows up every time you load up the game after that. I'm not honestly sure if it's doing anything after the first time you load up the game. As the second, third, or 10th time you load up the game, it still shows that UI element, but the CPU is barely doing anything while that UI widget is on the screen. Either way, the shader precompilation in this game fails to precompile all shader combinations. So when you play the game, you will see shader compilation stutter. The first one you can see happens just as the game is starting. That intro cinematic starts, and right there's a huge shader compilation stutter when the ship comes on screen. It's an obvious one. It does not happen, for example, if you load up the game a second time as the shader's already been compiled. But if you delete the shader cache or nuke the driver, then guess what? That same shader compilation stutter will crop right up again. The opening section of the game has a number of shader compilation stutters in it that are obvious and of course disappear on a second playthrough, like when this lightsaber is activated here. The fact that there are even any shader compilation stutters at all is unacceptable after the issues the first game had, and the fact that they are so obvious. Beyond shader compilation stutter, the game also suffers from loading and traversal stutter, and this is more pervasive actually, and is ruining for the game experience. Everywhere you go in Jedi Survivor, moving across the game world, you will see spikes of frame time over a number of frames, or over a few seconds in total as you cross invisible boundaries in the game world. This happens all over the game world, no matter what area you are, in Coruscant, in the opening areas of Koboh, and especially in the town of Koboh. This will also happen no matter what CPU or GPU combination you have. Even areas that look innocuous will have frame time spikes in them. The frame time spikes of these stutters can be smaller, but they can also be large, and they can compound with any shader compilation stutter that might potentially occur at the same time as that load. No matter how many times you play the game or run across an area, you will always see the same stutter. Nothing can prevent this. And yes, nothing can prevent this. Even playing the game at the lowest settings, you will still see traversal stutter and shader compilation stutter. Here's the game running on low on a Core i9-12900K. Notice the frame time graph. Notice the stutter. Every PC will be affected by this, just like with shader compilation stutter. So here Jedi Survivor has failed to improve over its predecessor in the main areas where its predecessor was also bad. Jedi Survivor in fact manages to be worse than its predecessor when one considers the largest issue in the release, and that is how CPU limited it is and what type of CPU limitation we appear to be looking at. Look at this scene here on a Core i9-1200K at the lowest settings. Please take note of how the game is utterly underutilizing the GPU. GPU utilization is minimal. The 49 is asleep at the wheel here, essentially. But notice at the same time how the frame rate on the lowest settings is also sub 60. So a really good modern CPU here is sub 60 FPS on the lowest settings in game. This is in and of itself not something to cry about though, as from a rational perspective, hardware never guarantees that you should be able to run X game at X settings at X frame rate. But here the performance appears completely unjustified and indefensible. Take a look at the CPU utilization. Notice how most of the CPU is doing absolutely nothing. The game appears to be limited by the performance of roughly 2 threads, which are always pegged at 70% or higher. Yes, in the year 2023, we are seeing poor utilization of our CPUs and GPUs with ray tracing off even at the lowest settings, and you're getting sub 60 FPS on a 12900K. With higher settings, it will be even more disastrous. With ray tracing active and the game maxed out, we see more smaller cores getting more work to be done, but you can still see that spreading out over more of the CPU does nothing to help the performance. The 12900K runs disastrously worse here, with it just being above 30 FPS at times in the game's opening section when utilizing ray tracing at higher settings, and it is of course still having frame time spikes all over the gameplay when moving around that game world. On a mid-range CPU, it is even more catastrophic. Check out how the Ryzen 5 3600 runs the Koboh town area on the absolute lowest settings. settings both on NVIDIA and AMD drivers. The AMD driver here runs the average frame rate around 4.5% higher, which you can see sometimes there on the frame rate graph. Yet if you look at the frame times, you can see that 4.5% is completely irrelevant, as both drivers suffer from the exact same frame time lurches and stutters at the exact same moments, and the frame time spikes are of the same intensity. Everyone's going to see this frame time lurching, no matter AMD, Intel, or NVIDIA GPU installed, and if you're on a mid-range CPU, you're just going to have a bad time altogether. For me as a reviewer, this intense GPU underutilization we see in Jedi Survivor makes settings recommendations nearly impossible. Other than saying turn off ray tracing for perhaps better CPU performance, almost all the other recommendations performance do not matter, as everyone out there is affected by this GPU underutilization and CPU limitedness, even when you would purposefully frame cap the game or up those GPU limited settings like resolution to obscene levels. The game is just not utilizing hardware presented to it in a meaningful way. This is compounded, of course, by the stuttering when moving across the game world or shader compilation stutters. So even if you manage to lock down the frame rate with an external cap or VSync or something, you will still suffer from stutters in your playthrough, and it won't abate. In my opinion, all of these issues that I've just talked about point to a game which is launching in a worse state than its predecessor. The game is unfinished. The game should not have been released on PC, and frankly, it really should not be being sold at the moment I'm putting out this video. For now, there are promised patches on the way and a kind of mea culpa about this whole thing, but the game really needs.
Dude, that is messed up. Look at the comment they made on the side. They put the blame right there. For example, players using cutting-edge multi-threaded chipset designs for Windows 11 were encountering problems on Windows 10, or high-end GPUs coupled with lower performing CPUs also saw unexpected frame loss. They're blaming it on that? What the heck? Are you serious, dude? That's damn. And I even went to this blind because I played the first game, so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna wait for reviews because I know the first game is good, but damn, the performance issue is just ridiculous.
A radical change in its CPU performance to actually be considered good for proper review. It needs CPU performance to be improved, much like it was improved in the game Gotham Knights on PC, which runs a lot better than it did at launch. Gotham Knights, though, still doesn't exactly have good CPU performance, but it's serviceable. Something like that needs to be done for Jedi Survivor. Furthermore, Jedi Survivor needs to not stutter as it does. It shouldn't have frame time lurches from shader compilation or from traversing the game world. Shader pre-compilation needs to be total and not leave out any shader combinations so players experience stutter. And lastly, the menu options in this game need to be much more informative and should not require restarts to ensure performance isn't broken. There are other things I would like them to fix, of course, like the graphical bugs that I found in the game, as you can see here on screen, or the draconian DRM, which locked me out of playing the game for 24 hours after trying it out on just 2 different systems. But first, they really just need to get the basics down. And that is all I really have to say about Jedi Survivor, a game in an awful condition.
It's de nouveau. They have de nouveau on it. That thing is trash.
On release out on PC.
It eats up performance as it is, and with this thing already having trouble, it's kind of lame.
That really should not be released on PC at the moment. If you did like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're already a subscriber, hit that little bell in the corner to be informed as soon as Digital Foundry posts a video. If you want to help us out, support us on Patreon to get years of our content in high quality for download. Other than that, comment below, follow on Twitter, and as always, this is Alex, bidding you farewell und auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. I mean, I understand if it's like, 60 FPS, 30 FPS, and that's fine with you, but you wouldn't be playing on PC if you're fine with like 30, dude. What the fuck is that? It was donkulous. Alright, I'm gonna play the game. Oh, wrong one. This one. Let's see how far we can get in the game, and then Redfall will be on Tuesday or Thursday, Wednesday for us. Hopefully that one will be a little better. It's free. I have Game Pass technically, so. Let's go. We'll launch the game and then I'm gonna grab it. There you go. Compiling apparently. I think that's fine, right? Those settings should be fine. Anyways, I'll be back. Let me grab a drink. Time to play the game. I'm still in Kodo. Oh yeah, I'm at this part. Ooh, 30 frames, 40 frames. That is horrible. Oh, I forgot I put that down. It looks so bright, doesn't it? So ugly. That's what I need to do. I need to go here. I can't go here yet. Oh, it's funny. There's a dude here. There's the... What do you call that? There is... Clone trooper, stormtrooper. He's just kind of reminiscing with life. He's just over here. Just chilling. You gonna see him? Okay, so we can't go there. Look how he runs. It's funny. I guess you can see it, right? The edges. Like weird ass. That guy. Look at him just chilling. Just trying to appreciate life. Right? How's it, my guy? Doing good? You can kill him, but why would you do that? He's just chilling. Or what happens if I stand in front of him? Hey.
I see you!
Hey. Bruh. Aw. You wanna fight? They're just chilling.
I'm not sure that's a Jedi. Is it?
Should just, you know. Just let me go, man. I wasn't even bothering you. Oh, wait. Hold on. Time to go here. I think this is where we need to go. Yeah, I haven't been here yet. Hopefully it leads there. I'd have to fight. I prefer the areas inside because I get better frame rates and then it looks better. Because outside it just looks too bright.
All the critters around the array are pretty riled up. Could be the dust in the air. Imperial patrols probably don't help either.
No. Oh. I mean, it's certainly playable. It's just not optimized.
This'll come in handy.
Hold. I thought I changed it. Maybe I should change it to thumb up. No. Where's the P? What's my P? Because N is map for me. N Z P. Probably go P. Z is confused. Focus. Focus. Right? Because it used to be control. And then my evade is what? Mouse scroll up. When did I change this? What? Yeah, it was XC. Target and shift for sprint. And is for yep. I'm using the split keyboard. U is ascension cable. F special attack. Jump very back. Alright. Slow. I don't think I have that yet. It's locked, I think. Locked. Oh, it's unbound. Nothing yet. Oh no, it's at 4. Alright. Can they show stuff? They're not showing it.